sports, insight, and great storytelling. Starring Bobby Carpenter and Jeff Tito Thitoff. It's time to attack and dominate.
Touching that mic on there, Bodie, before you start talking. I'm new here. Attack and dominate on this Wednesday. I'm Tito, Jeff Thitoff. Bobby Carpenter on my left. Bodie Wells just saved me. Big show lined up for you today. Austin Ward's going to join us at 7:25 because we can never talk enough about Ohio State football. Bobby, good morning, my friend.
Oh, great morning, Jeff. Good to see you today.
That's very enthusiastic. I like this, Bob.
Well, you complained yesterday, so there you go.
I don't think I complained. I just mentioned it.
No,
Was that a complaint, Bodie, yesterday?
What was it? Sorry.
That's okay. I thought Bobby's, it's a great morning. Good to see you, sir. Happy to see you.
Salutation wasn't enthusiastic enough.
Oh,
okay.
I'd say we all attack enthusiasm. I just totally.
What was the rest of the quote there, Bob? Remember that one, like unknown to mankind?
Yeah, something
Back
like
a day
that.
with enthusiasm unknown to mankind.
There we go. That's it right there. We got a big show, like I said, lined up for you today. Morning Juice, sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin. 2 hours here on YouTube, the Fan app, HD3, Twitter, and Facebook. Catch the show from 10 a.m. to noon on 10 TV Plus. Download the podcast anywhere you get your audio. Last night in sports, Nationals over the Guardians 6-3. Cleveland looks to avoid the 3-game sweep today at 110. The Reds, though, are going for a 3-game sweep tonight at 7:10. They knocked off the Mets 7-2. Vegas, Colorado, Bob. Our Golden Knights have swept and advanced to the final now. Torts.
He's on his way.
He's on his way. Thunder over the Spurs, 127-114. Oklahoma City leads that series 3-2. Game 6 in San Antonio tomorrow night. Thunder started off a little slowly, but then got it going, and really, I didn't think they were ever that threatening like the second half. You know, when you got to the fourth quarter, I think the Oklahoma City may have cut it close to single digits. But
How much of the game did you watch?
Me, I watched on and off probably about a third of it.
Okay.
I mean, obviously at the end of it, I was in bed, but I was like, checking in and things like that. So, did you watch any of it or not?
Oh yeah, I watched the first half and a lot of the third quarter. So I felt like it was. You could see that Oklahoma City was controlling it at that point. It would have taken a Herculean lift in the third to fourth to be able to get that done for San Antonio after starting fast. I mean, Oklahoma City's so good. So unless you're getting just a ridiculous game out of Wemby, it's going to be hard for them to probably pull this thing off.
And they didn't get a ridiculous game last night out of Wemby. He was very pedestrian compared to his more recent performances. But again, Game 6, San Antonio tomorrow night. I hope that series goes 7. I'd love to see a 7-game series with those guys. All right, Bob, make me smarter.
Time to get smarter. Morning Juice presents Today in History. Here's your professor, Bobby Carpenter.
All right, work your magic, Bob.
Oh boy, it is Wednesday, May 27th, 147th day of the year, 218 days remaining this 2026. This date, 1927, we mentioned Ford ceased operations on the Model T. Well, today they fired up the Model A and began to run that off the assembly lines. This date, 1930, the Chrysler Building in New York City opens to the public at 1,046 feet, the tallest man-made structure at the time in the entire world. This date, 1937, the Golden Gate Bridge opens to the public. A lot of man-made achievements here on this day. And then this date, 1967, the USS John F. Kennedy is launched by his late wife, Jacqueline Kennedy, and their daughter, Caroline.
Thousands attend the launching of the aircraft carrier John F. Kennedy. Cardinal Cushing accompanies the Kennedy family, while Mrs. Kennedy, 9-year-old Caroline, and John Jr., 7, head for the sponsors platform where Caroline will christen the ship. President Johnson arrives with Mrs. Rose Kennedy. The $200 million vessel is the largest of conventional power. In a brief speech, President Johnson says of the carrier, "We pray that her years will be years of peace, but if she must fight, both the flag she flies and the name she bears will carry a profound message to friend and foe alike." Young Caroline smashes a bottle of New York State champagne, and the giant ship is thus christened in memory of her father.
There we go. Look at that. This date, 1987, noise levels from U2's concert in Rome set off earthquake alarms in Italy. Must have been a rocking concert. And this concert, after a 14-year hiatus, they said they wouldn't get back together unless hell freezes over. Well, in Burbank, California, it did, as the Eagles reunite to have their first show after more than a decade and closing that bad boy with Desperado.
Once she's a friend of mine. Take it easy. Take it easy. Don't let the sound of your own ego
Make you crazy.
One of the best bands one of my most favorite bands of all time, the Eagles.
There you go. What'd you do during that 14-year hiatus?
I listened to a lot of their Eagles Greatest Hits, Volume 1 and Volume 2. I think Volume 1 might still be on the Billboard charts as like one of the best-selling albums. Well, I guess not call them albums anymore now. What the hell they call them. But anyway, yeah.
They're still albums. You can't really buy them. You buy the whole album. I guess you can still purchase music, can't you? You can buy the album.
Couldn't tell you the last time I did. I know that.
At one point you could, even outside of the streaming stuff, but we'll see. And this date, 1995, Hootie and the Blowfish, their debut album, Cracked Rearview Mirror, hits number 1.
I just wanna love you, but you wanna wear my ring. Well, there's nothing I can do. I only wanna be with you.
Call me a fool. I only want to be with you. 2006, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Stadium Arcadium album hits number 1.
Deep beneath the cover of another perfect wonder where it's so white as snow.
Oh, what a banger. One of my favorites. And finally, another rapper, singer, entrepreneur. A lot of things. Throws out an opening pitch, maybe the most legendary, or at least in the conversation of all time. On 2014, his 50 Cent airmails one into the dugout during the Mets game.
Mid-June, and that was not a strike. A little wide.
Well, that is 50 Cent. Curtis Jackson. And his first pitch was not great. Just a bit outside. What can you say? You think he opened up a little early?
Yeah.
Look at that front shoulder.
It's good. He never had a choice between playing for the Mets or being a rapper. So
Opened up that front shoulder.
Start breaking it down, yeah.
What do you think happened there? Your soft mattress?
Yeah.
No matter how I say his name, I sound whiter than anybody. If I say, hey, it's 50 Cent. Hey, it's 50 Cent. I feel like no matter what, I can't get it right.
From a Brookhaven alum.
Exactly.
Nonetheless.
It's disappointing.
It'll take your diploma away from you. Born on this date in 1912, one of the legendary golfers, 7-time major winner. Believe he never won the U.S. Open, I think. It was the one that was eluding him, Mr. Sam Snead.
Augusta, Georgia, the 13th Masters Golf Tournament goes into its 4th round as Lloyd Mangrum tees off. A record gallery of 15,000 watches Johnny Bulla send that pellet into the wild blue yonder, then turns its attention to slamming Sammy Snead. Sammy, who trailed by 5 strokes at the halfway mark, settles down to a brilliant golfing performance. At the 16th hole, Snead, who is to score 8 birdies in his final round, tries a long one. Watch the fan in the foreground. His reaction tells the story of a near miss. At the 18th and final hole, it's a 20-footer. Sammy can take 3 putts and still win, but he does it the champion's way. With 2 great concluding rounds of 67 each, Sammy Snead wins the Masters tournament, and congratulations from old master Bobby Jones.
Does it the champion's way. Yeah, never won the U.S. Open. 4 times a runner-up. Won the other 3, so never completed that career Grand Slam like Rory. Congratulated by Bobby Jones, couple of legends right there. Another legend, born on this date, 1922. One of the great actors of all time, playing some tremendous villains throughout his career, and then also serving in World War II, Mr. Christopher Lee.
A new power is rising. Its victory is at hand. This night, the land will be stained with the blood of Rohan. March to Helm's Deep. Leave none alive. To war! There will be no door for men.
Is that the Lord of the Rings movies?
Yes, that was from Twin Towers, or Two Towers, I believe.
Wasn't sure, honestly. Haven't seen them. It's on the list.
Oh, it's really good.
How many are there in this?
There's three
I know
Lord
there's
of the
three
Rings
books, yeah.
There's three Lord of the Rings books, and then they took The Hobbit, which was one book,
right,
and made 3 movies out of that. Some people didn't like the first one; isn't quite as good. I thought the last 2 are really good. My son, his favorite one is The Five Armies, which is the final Hobbit book. They're really good. Christopher Lee, they were talking about, so he gets stabbed, and the guy gets stabbed in the back. And
literally or figuratively?
Figuratively.
Okay.
Or no, literally
Okay.
in the movie, I guess cinematically in the movie.
Yeah.
And they were describing how to do it. And Peter Jackson's directing and saying what to do. And he goes, no, this is the sound they make. Because he served in World War II. And so I guess he had
Step aside, son.
He had some intimate knowledge of what it looked like and sounded like when someone gets a nice little gut shot, a rib shot from behind. Unbelievable. Did a lot in his life. The Beatles road manager Mal Evans, born on this date in 1935. Jackie Slater turning 72, the 20-year NFL vet, Hall of Fame tackle with the Los Angeles Rams. Eric Bischoff, the pro wrestler, turning 71 today. I believe he's still alive. I was surprised to not see anything.
R.I.P.
Well, usually you see that they've got those parentheses with the dash in there.
Yeah.
2 numbers indicating a beginning and an end. Adam Carolla, though, turning 62 today.
Give him room. Give him a room. He's got no luggage, just a flask. You want to get on the terrorist watch list, travel alone with a flask. You'll bump off one-way ticket to Beirut, guy. So I'm standing there, I get in line. I just put the flask in the basket. Makes the loneliest pilgrimage ever. Just the flask in the dog bowl, you know. Just at some point, it makes it into the doghouse. You know, I'm like, okay. Then it stops, and the guy backs it up. You know, oh, did anyone in this airport miss the saddest tableau of all? The new face of alcoholism.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
That was probably back when you could travel with some liquids and take them through the TSA.
Thanks a lot, Bin Laden.
Exactly. Poor Adam Carolla, the loneliest flask. Putting in the dog bowl, going through the doghouse. This day, turning 58 today. NL MVP in 94, the 4-time All-Star. Probably a steroid user as well. But a Hall of Famer nonetheless, because people viewed him as a nice guy. Turning 58, Mr. Jeff Bagwell.
Runners second and third, 2 down. Line down toward the right field corner. It'll go up again. Out of here! Out of here! Out of here! When you're hot, you're hot.
Bagwell makes a bid. Could it be? Win at the wall. 3 home runs in the game for Jeff Bagwell. What an unbelievable night for the Astros slugging first baseman. 3 homers in his last 3 trips to the plate in this game.
I'm not going to stand for reckless speculation, Bob. You accusing him of being on steroids.
Well, he made the Hall of Fame. His numbers.
He must not have been on steroids.
Why is that?
We don't let people in the Hall of Fame on steroids.
Well, that's highly inaccurate because there are a couple guys in there who I'm fairly certain did. And since they all voted not to get tested, then they're all complicit in it. Turning the same day, I don't think this guy was ever on juice. They called him the Big Hurt, 2-time MVP, back-to-back, 5-time All-Star, turning 58 as well, Mr. Frank Thomas.
Deep to left field. Back and number 500 for Frank Thomas. And the fans here at the Dome acknowledging an historic event. Frank Thomas has just hit career home run number 500.
of those 500 home runs, his 50th career home run against the Twins. And everybody congratulating Frank Thomas, the 21st player to reach 500 career home runs.
Bob, according to AI, Bagwell never failed a drug test.
How many drug tests did he take?
I'm not sure, but he was not in any official report linking him to PEDs. However,
exactly,
as a prominent slugger during the steroid era, he faced widespread suspicion, primarily stemming from his muscular physique and his close friendship with Ken Camionetti. Ken Camionetti also later admitted to steroid use. He did, I should say also. He later admitted that. Bagwell did admit in 1998 that he did use Andro before it was banned by the FDA.
That's like the ultimate thing. So that's what Mark McGuire did. He put Andro up in his locker, and everybody talked to him. Oh, is this bad? He's doing this. Well, it's not technically, it's not illegal. You're allowed to use it. Meanwhile, he was doing Winstrol and Deca and everything else. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, all these guys, they're all liars. So, but it's not. Nobody voted to ban. Nobody voted to get tested on it.
Yeah.
I want to hear about all these guys. If you wanted to be clean, then you should have said, hey, go bang the drum. Barry did. Nobody listened. So you know what? Can't beat him, join him. The 1996 Heisman Trophy winner Danny Werfel turning 52 today. And Andre 3000 of Outkast turning 51. Little Andre 3000 there. Oh, hey, from, I'd say, circa 2001, maybe?
I'd say it's around that range,
maybe 2000. I believe I was in college. Maybe 2004, 3. I don't know. I was in college. I'm trying to think when I would hear it, when I would play it.
2003, Bob.
2003, there we go. I think what car I was in. I got a Dodge Stratus in 2003. Had a CD player in it. Pretty big time.
It sounds suspicious. Sus, as the kids would say.
Well, it was $9,000. It was $180. It was $183 a month car payment that I had to pay. That was a lot back then.
Exactly.
I figured if I went back every Thursday night and took food from my parents and ate that throughout the weekend, I would still have money to drink on and have that car. I thought the car was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Passing on this date, 2019, Mr. Greg Allman, one of the famed Allman brothers. And 2 years ago to the day, losing this legend, great basketball player, even better storyteller, Mr. Bill Walton.
And they have come to their feet in Portland with their Blazers trailing 2-9. Walton on the lob. Oh, he got it in! Bill Walton got it in! Twardzik and Gross. What a sequence for the Blazers! Walton again, twice at the basket. I can't believe that first play.
Here we go, the inbound of McGinnis. Drive, stop, pump, shoot, short, no go. The Portland Trailblazers have won the World Championship.
I've never coached a better player. I've never coached a better competitor. And I've never coached a better person than Bill Walton.
He was pretty good. I was hoping we were going to get some of his commentary, Bodie. I mean, the stories that he would drop out there.
Yeah, he had the one time I remember in particular when he was with, I think it was Dave Pasch that he used to do the late night Pac-12 games with.
They're so good.
And I don't know if it was one of their birthdays or what, but they both had a cupcake with a candle on it. The candle was lit, and Dave jokingly goes, "Oh, I bet you won't take a bite of that with the candle on there." And Bill just devours the whole thing.
Why not? Go for it.
73 NCAA championship game. He scored 44 points, 21 of 22 from the field. That means that big guy who kept making everything only went to the free throw line for 2 shots. Or only made 2 shots, I should say. I guess it was.
Yeah, he was he's pretty good, man. Really good.
Mm-hmm.
Lost him probably a little too soon. I mean, he was not all that old when he passed. I believe just in his 70s. It's one of the tragedies of being that tall, though, Bodie. Typically, those guys don't live all that long.
That, and the body's just not meant to be that big. And he's probably pretty high on the list of players whose careers would have turned out much differently if not for the injuries.
And he won the MVP.
He
He was the last one to win it by playing only person to win it playing less than 65 games in a season.
Wouldn't have been able to wouldn't qualify for his Supermax with his All-NBA voting.
But he missed almost 3 whole seasons.
Yeah.
With the foot thing it was the then San Diego Clippers who he played for, and they actually missed almost 5 seasons, I guess. But anyway, he total. But they sued them. I don't know if he ever won the suit or not for malpractice with the way they treated him with his feet, because he kept coming back, and then before he'd get back, he was still in rehab, he'd break again or whatever.
Doesn't sound very good at all. Some holidays observances. It's Great Popsicle Day, National Gray Day, which makes perfect sense thanks to Meredith and our weather impact alert.
Yeah.
The grayness outside.
Raining out there.
National Sunscreen Day. Don't need that. Nothing to Fear Day. And World Otter Day, which is the last Wednesday in May. And those are your historical events, your birthdays, your passings. Your holidays observances for this date, Wednesday, May 27th, 147th day of the year. 218 days remaining in this 2026.
Well done, as always, General. Coming up next, if you made a bet on Brendan Sorsby playing this year in college, you may not be able to cash that ticket. We'll do that next. Morning Juice.
Hey, I know some of you out there are dealing with this pain, and you've been dealing with it so long, it's become a constant in your body, and you begin to think, well, maybe this is just the new normal. Listen, you want to get back to being carefree, being fun, being active, doing the things that you love. Well, that can all start with an introduction to Dr. Ray Tesner and his team at QC Kinetics. Their regenerative treatments for joint pain can help you out, and they're located right here in Columbus, in Dublin, and Gahanna. They helped me. They helped my father. They got me back to running again with the pain in my knee. It is completely gone now, and I feel tremendous. They're helping patients from their pain, just like me, whether it's arthritis in their knees, hips, shoulders. They're moving, they're sleeping better, they're golfing, running, all the things you want to do. And the best part is, it's without surgery or a long recovery. The science is real. I've researched it. The treatments, they're natural. Your body can heal itself. Let QC Kinetics get them the tools to be able to do that. So don't let that inflammation sit any longer. Go to qckinetics.com/Columbus or call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544.
I'm Brian Albizu, traffic anchor for 10 TV News this morning. Columbus is quickly becoming my home, and this community has welcomed me with open arms. My mission is simple: to help you get to where you're going quickly and safely. Whether it's helping you beat the slowdown on 270 or giving you detours around major construction, we've got you covered. Because when your morning's on the move, so are we. Make the move to 10 TV News this morning, weekdays from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
My name is Corporal Bradley Joseph Seitz.
Jerry Reed.
Kate Weber.
These are real veterans facing a real challenge.
I have PTSD.
And I have PTSD.
I have PTSD.
Post-traumatic stress disorder can happen to anyone.
I was still in a war zone in my mind.
But treatment can turn your life around.
Treatment has really saved my life.
To learn about PTSD and how treatment can help you, call your local VA medical center or visit ptsd.va.gov.
Hey there, Jane Lynch here. You want to hear something funny? Too bad. You want to hear something uplifting that will inspire you? Good. Because today, I want to talk to you about Direct Relief, a humanitarian organization that does seriously good work when it counts. Fires, hurricanes, earthquakes. When disaster strikes, Direct Relief immediately shows up with medicines, medical supplies, and everything doctors and nurses need to save lives. Let's ship her out! Every day across the United States and around the world, they're making an enormous difference. If someone needs help, Direct Relief helps. No politics, no red tape. Hey, what you doing over there?
Oh, I'm packing insulin for kids with diabetes.
See, every box here is literally a lifeline for someone in critical need. So check them out at directrelief.org. You might just bring a smile to someone's face.
One man is a national champion, NFL veteran, and local business leader. The other man is Tito. This is Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
Bob, the NCAA has denied Brendan Sorsby's request to be reinstated for the 2026 season. Texas Tech is appealing the decision. Of course they are. He's an investment. Although I don't know how it works. We haven't seen it. We haven't heard of any, like, how the wording is in the contract. If he does get all that money still or some of it or has to pay something back he's already gotten, I'm not sure. But
Well, they're not allowed to play. I mean, it's not allowed to be tied to play.
Is it as far as like no matter what play? I know statistically probably not, but like
No, it's not allowed to be
But
tied.
you can't about like games played or if you get suspended or
No,
something or academically ineligible.
No, that has nothing to do with it. It's a name, image, and likeness contract, not a performance-based contract, which would imply any type of participation on the field.
I just wondered if there was any kind of like language like that in those deals or not, where somebody would try to protect themselves in case,
I thought I heard John Bryce of USA Today say this not at some point this offseason, and I think it was maybe about the Sorsby stuff in particular or maybe something else. But I thought they were able to kind of put in there some sort of like
a morals clause?
Kind of, yeah. Almost like, you know how we say with the NFL, it's like protect the shield.
Right.
You know, it's almost something like that.
Okay.
Where it's
You
like
could have a morality clause.
something along those lines. Yeah, I can't remember
if you do
his
something that
specific
would be
wording, but
detrimental to the company or
in
'cause
this case, like
they're not with the university.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how all of his contract is broken out, because what percentage of it would be the revenue share versus like in NIL.
And that can make a big difference, right?
Yes.
Because it's
yeah.
revenue share, then he's really in trouble. Because Texas Tech could say, well, this is a bad image for the school, right?
Oh, yeah.
Where
And
NIL could be.
They could still even have stuff in there's more morality clauses in NIL contracts and everything. So
yeah, I guess it's not a good look for Adidas or whatever if they're
you don't want
sending him some money and
so if that's why when those guys get arrested and different things, you see the companies part ways, break their contract with them because if you do something that is defined as detrimental in the general image, I mean, you can sue them on it, but you're gonna have a hard time, especially with something like this. This isn't really subjective. Like you're gambling.
Not a good look for Adidas, but a fine look for BetMGM. Anyway, Bob, but the morality thing though, then that could fall under this, right? If it does bring negative publicity, then like say to Adidas, then this could fall under that morality clause if they had something like that in the contract.
Yeah, okay. I'm guessing there probably was.
So what's interesting to me, Bob, is now Texas Tech is appealing the decision. And let's say they lose, say the appeal gets denied, which I imagine it would Texas Tech try to, if they come after anything that they've given him or not? You know what I mean? Like, could they say, look, he shouldn't be suspended, and then they say, well, he's suspended. Say, okay, we're appealing that. He shouldn't be suspended. They said, nope, he's suspended. They said, okay, you owe us money back, Sorsby.
Yeah, that's what we were just getting. That's
yeah, I'm saying, like, that'd be weird, though, wouldn't it, to appeal it to say, hey, this guy should not be suspended?
Well, they want him to play.
Sure.
There's nobody else out there.
Yeah.
So ideally, they want him to play, but this might be also part of the process of the legal element of it, too, that would need to happen for them to probably have a stronger case. And not the thing is, it's not like I don't know the structure of this. I know that they've changed some of it where you're not paying like all of that money up front. So it's not like he's got to pay him back. It's just really a break of the contract, and maybe they'd pay back what they paid him, or I don't know, he'd pay back what they paid him already.
Right.
Maybe he's entitled to some of that. I'm not sure.
So that's something that, it'll get dragged out through the courts, I am sure, on that. And then, I don't expect him to play this year. I don't know. The NFL hasn't talked much about the possibility of a supplemental draft. I don't know what the deadline is.
They haven't
for that.
had one in 3 years. I believe the deadline is June 1st, which is why they needed to get that. He sued them to expedite all of the appeal and everything, so that he could enter the supplemental draft. Let me see. Deadline for supplemental draft. The NFL supplemental draft is June 30th. I thought the application must apply by June 30th. I thought it was at the end of May, but I guess it's the end of June. So he's got some time, but it's not like these court proceedings work very quickly. They take some time.
And that'd be fascinating if they did the draft, and if the NFL would take any action like they did against Pryor and Tressel.
I can't imagine anybody with the quarterback class next year giving up something for a guy. Maybe you would take a flyer on him in the second round, but with the stigma that he has around gambling, I can't imagine Roger Goodell would be able to just come in and play. Like I would have to imagine there'd be some suspension or something around this, just for what he was involved in.
Percentage chance he plays in college this year?
0.
That's what I think, too. Especially, too, because I think it's easy for the NCAA to just wash their hands of it.
Yeah.
He's gone in a year anyway.
Right.
So if you just say, like, nope, you're not playing this year, then it can just become the NFL's problem.
Yeah, right. New Heisman Trust CEO Jeff Price was talking, Bobby, and he said they are going to make the Heisman a multi-day event. They're creating a Friday night thing called Heisman Live, which will include a fireside chat.
It's like the magic hour.
With the 4 finalists, recognition of the 25th and 50th anniversaries and other anniversary winners and other programming. Then on Saturday night, a new look red carpet show will lead into the ceremony where that year's winner will be announced. The Heisman Trophy for me, Bob, I don't know. It doesn't seem to me, it's not as, what's the word I'm looking for? Not as meaningful to me as it used to be. I used to think it was a really big deal.
Why is it not as big a deal?
Just because I don't feel like the best player in the country gets it all the time.
When was that ever the case?
Well, I think Marshall Faulk or Barry Sanders got it. I think Barry Sanders well deserving of that right there. That's happened.
So you're picking out examples where you think the best player got it.
Well, you asked me what it was. That's what I was going to tell you. That's one of the times I thought like that. That's the first one came to my mind when I thought he was clearly the best player in college football that year.
Well, I think there's times where there's clearly the best player gets it, and then there's probably times where the vote. I mean, you realize how the voting populace of that works.
Sure.
I mean, there's a regionality to it. There's vote splitting depending on players or where they're at. Some people view it differently. Everybody has their own definition of it. So there's a lot of things that come into play. I don't think that, I mean, you're going back nearly 40 years to say that this is that guy. So what did you think in 1996? It wasn't the best player winning it anymore?
Who won it in 96 off the top of my head? I can't remember who was
Danny
that.
Werfel.
Was that Werfel?
I just mentioned it today.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Werfel. That
If
was
you
the year.
listened to Today in History, you would have picked that up.
Werfel and that was the year Eddie George had a good year that year too, didn't he? That year.
It would have been 95.
95. Okay, so Werfel had a decent year. I remember, if I remember correctly. I don't have stats in front of me, but I can't remember if he's the best player. And I'm just telling you like how it felt to me.
You said Eddie George had a decent year that year. Eddie George did win it the year before.
He won the year before. I'm saying, but I thought the year before also Werfel had a decent year, if not mistaken. That's what I was thinking of. Yeah. But like Jeremiah Smith's the best player in college football.
Okay. It's become more of a quarterback award than ever before.
Yes.
But it used to really be a running back award.
It was for a long time. That's correct. Yes. And it is now if you're the quarterback on a very successful team that's undefeated at the end of the season, at the end of the regular season or whatever that would be, then you're likely going to, if you're starting quarterback, that's what's going to happen.
And by the way, it's never designed to go to the best player. That's not what the definition of the Heisman Trophy says.
What's the definition?
The most outstanding player in college football. So you can define that your own way. But outstanding versus best, and that's always been there to my knowledge of it.
Orlando Pace was the best player in college football, and
like I said, it's not what it says.
I hate the wording of that crap.
Well,
most outstanding. What's the difference? What I'm saying, like, how would you guys view most outstanding versus best?
So best means you're the best player. I mean, the number one player, if you were to rank them. Most outstanding, that can mean a lot of things to a lot of different people. You know, I don't know. Highest ceiling player, most big plays. I don't know. I mean, you can kind of define it however you like, and that's what it says.
Yeah, I mean, I do think it's probably become a little bit too much quarterback driven. But I will say, in the last 5 years,
there's a lot of other players that have gone.
Yeah,
just not anyone else that's really won.
And like 2 years ago, Travis Hunter won it. And had he not won it, it would have been a running back. So it's not like he like edged a quarterback.
Right.
Devonta Smith.
It's exact. Yep. I was going to say.
In the last 5 years, we've had
6 years ago, we've had two non-quarterback. He was the COVID year, right? 2020, Devonta Smith.
Yes. So the last 6 years, we've had two non-quarterbacks.
Yeah. Now you can make an argument, and I totally agree with you, Tito. Like, if you had to pick an Ohio State finalist from last year, like J.J. Smith or Julian Sayin, like I know you're splitting hairs, but like. Let's be honest, Smith is the better player. Right. If you were to ask me who the more outstanding player is, I will say too, though, it's probably one of, if not maybe the only one that I, at least personally, and everybody's different, but that I could honestly tell you pretty much in my lifetime, I probably could go almost year for year who won it.
Oh, could you? Yeah.
Whereas, like, if you asked me the same for like NBA MVP, NFL MVP, all these other awards, I really couldn't tell you any. So it's still carries enough weight at least in my mind, that I remember it.
Right, yeah. I was trying some of the winners here. Yeah, you're right. It was the COVID year when Devonta Smith won it. Before that was Burrow, Kyler Murray, Baker Mayfield, Lamar, Derrick Henry. Yeah, it's
I mean, a lot of those guys you would argue were probably the best player in college football that year. You can argue about Joe Burrow.
No, I'm not going to argue about Joe Burrow.
Argue about Derrick. You can argue about
60 touchdowns.
Derrick Henry.
Who was second that year when Derrick Henry? I'm just curious how.
What year was it?
2015.
Zeke, did he go? Did he get invited?
I don't remember.
I'm trying to see if Zeke got invited.
I don't remember him going, but so it was Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, and Deshaun Watson.
I mean, those are three pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think McCaffrey, didn't he set the single season, just all-purpose record?
All-purpose yardage.
And that's tough. I mean, if he's playing at, Auburn instead of Stanford.
Right.
Or whatever.
We're playing in a region that cares a lot about college football.
That too, yeah. Even a fan base that cares about football.
A fan base in a place that gets more eyeballs. I mean, Stanford, they're playing a lot of those late-night games. They're on the West Coast. They're not playing nearly as many big games, so that's going to be tough.
Zeke was 8th that year.
8th?
Yeah.
That's insane. Whatever. You get that when you get human voting in, you're going to have that kind of stuff. So I've come to accept that.
Yeah, but I mean, I'll read off the first 7 guys here. It's
I'm
not
sure there's a good
bunch
list.
of bums. Yeah, it's Henry, McCaffrey, Deshaun Watson, and then Baker, Keenan Reynolds at Navy.
Yep.
Leonard Fournette at LSU, and then Dalvin Cook at Florida State.
I would say those are.
And I mean that's just a quick eyeball test of stats and yards as far as the two running backs just ahead of him. Fournette and Cook were. Fournette had more yards, 1 less touchdown. Cook had 200 less yards, 4 less touchdowns, but 60 less carries than Zeke. So, I mean, it was Connor Cook finished number 9.
Look out.
He got 2 first-place votes.
See, that's ridiculous.
Sure.
I know, but you're going to get that, though.
About 10th, Trayvon Boykin. That's a name that you probably forgot about there.
Last time I probably remember that name was that year.
Probably,
right,
yeah. Yeah.
Last time I was said on this radio station was probably that year.
That and because he was the quarterback for 2 years there for TCU, right? In 14 and 15, and obviously 14 was the crazy year that they got bounced right at the end, and Ohio State snuck in and made the committee look good on that one. That's for sure.
All right, coming up next, we'll do some quick hitters. This is Morning Juice.
I'm Meredith Garfalo, meteorologist at 10 TV News This Morning, and I'm an Ohio girl. I love golf, aerospace, and all things Ohio sports. For nearly 20 years, I've studied the patterns that shape our days, from winter wonders on the south side to dangerous storms along the I-71 corridor. When the weather changes, you'll be the first to know, because you need a forecast that moves as fast as you do. Make the move to 10 TV News This Morning, weekdays from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. Green & Sons has all the Kubotas you need to tackle your land and come out a winner. They have zero-turn skid steers, tractors from 18 to 171 horsepower, and also utility vehicles. My favorite is my RTV Sidekick. The best thing about Green & Sons is they've been family-owned and operated since 1970, and you will love dealing with the Green family and their winning team. Do what I did and check out Green & Sons located in Mount Sterling and Marysville, or online at greenandsons.com for all your Kubota needs.
Some journeys start small, with small paws and big purpose.
Look how little fly, you sweet girl.
Every great partnership begins with the first step.
Bella, let's go.
Guiding them through the world so one day they can guide someone through life. With shared experience, confidence grows, and the path becomes clear. It takes time, patience, and love. But the reward lasts a lifetime.
Hey, good girl, Bella.
You don't just raise a puppy. You raise a future. Become a Dogs Inc. puppy raiser. Give a dog a purpose. Give someone hope.
Learn more at dogsinc.org.
Miss Fernandez, what are those tiny things?
Those are what we call amoebas. You can only see them through a microscope.
Wow.
Today's students are tomorrow's great thinkers and innovators. But right now, there's a funding crisis in public schools. Millions of kids go to schools that don't have funding for books, computers, and so much more just because of where they live. You can help change that. Donors Choose is a nonprofit that lets you support students and teachers in your community and beyond. You choose which supplies to support. You could provide first graders with pencils and paper, or other students with their first chapter books, help a music class get a guitar.
You could even supply a classroom like mine with a science project. But what you're really giving is the moment that sparks a brighter tomorrow.
To learn more, please visit DonorsChoose.org. That's DonorsChoose.org. Choose students. Shape the future.
If you're looking for the inside scoop on the Buckeyes, you've come to the right place. This is Morning Juice.
All right, Morning Juice. This is the time. I mean, he's always in control, but now he's more controlling. Cody Wells.
Morning Juice presents Quick Hitters.
All right, fellas, happy Wednesday. Halfway through the work week here. We'll start with a little 2-for-1 for you guys from last night's playoff games in the association. The defending champs are now just one win away from heading back to the NBA Finals as the Thunder beat the Spurs 127-114 last night in Oklahoma City to take a 3-2 series lead in the Western Conference Finals. The back-to-back MVP, SGA, got off to a bit of a slow start, but then ended up still scoring 32 points, slightly inefficient for him, but still 32 points is 32 points as he leads OKC to the win there. And then on the ice for the third time in the franchise's 9-year history, the Golden Knights are heading back to the Stanley Cup Finals. Last night they swept one of the all-time great regular season teams in the Colorado Avalanche. Cut this one up from Torts here this morning after the win.
Oh, well, first of all, I'm very fortunate to get the opportunity with Bill, George, and Kelly giving me the opportunity. And after spending a couple of weeks with the team, you could tell it's a really good group. And I'm thrilled for the opportunity, thrilled to be along the ride with them. Now we're playing for I consider the first 3 rounds playoffs. The last round, that's when you play for the Stanley Cup. We have an opportunity to play for the Stanley Cup now. I'm proud of the guys.
Bob, I don't know that Jackets fans need a reason to root against Carolina or Montreal. Montreal for you in particular to root against
just the Canadians.
Yeah. But Torts will be easy to root for, even though rooting for the Golden Knights sometimes feels like, really? Like every
third Cup appearance in 9 years.
Yeah,
and it's just how they changed the expansion, and it's painful. It's a painful reminder to the Jackets, who have been laboring for 2 decades trying to make it past the first round, which they've done only one time.
Yeah.
And the guy who's coaching them is coaching you when that happened. And the construction of the teams and what they've done. But, I mean, John Tortorella was great. He was a great ambassador of this city. Loved coaching here. I really enjoyed the guy, and he will have the full weight and support that I have behind him, to the point where I might try to go to a game. But
were you serious about that? You might go to a game?
Why would I not be serious?
Just because for say, I'm going to hop on a plane to Vegas, go to the game. I just thought maybe you were. I thought you were just being
buy a plane ticket and talk to Rothman, see if I can get him to go with me.
Wow.
What, I'm trying to look at a. Okay, so next Wednesday's game 1, just like the NBA Finals. Why would they not?
Well, it's going to be.
Who is the number one? Who's the home team?
I think it'll probably be the Eastern Conference winner.
Carolina or Montreal.
I mean, Vegas only won, I think, 39 games in the regular season, whereas, let's see here, Carolina won 53 and Montreal won 48. So, so they'll be north of the border or down there in the Carolinas for games 1 and 2. Where'd my tab go here? There we go. Game 1 next Wednesday, game 2 next Friday. Then Monday, Thursday, Sunday the following week, and then Wednesday, Saturday the following week after that.
Tortorella has a reputation of, his stuff works for a while, and then it kind of, the players tune him out. But, he was at Tampa Bay for 7 years, the Jackets for 6, the Rangers for 6. It's just more recent, I think, at Philadelphia, he was there for 3 years. Earlier he was at Vancouver for...
I don't know if they had the right full makeup in Philadelphia for them to be able to have the success that he wanted to.
Yeah, I think that's probably a fair point.
You have to have the right players to play for him.
And that was where he had his worst winning percentage as far as a coach goes. He won 48% of the games there, but the only place the Rangers had the most success at 58%. Right behind that, though, the Jackets at 57%, unless you want to count Vegas, who's got a .938 winning percentage in the regular season.
It'll count if they win 4 more.
Yes, it will.
That's
yes,
for sure.
Second cup.
Yeah.
Heading to the NBA here, guys. We talked about this one a good bit yesterday, and then the news came out yesterday afternoon. Shams Charania of ESPN has reported that Kenny Atkinson will be back for a third season as the head coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers next year. Following Monday night's Game 4 loss to the Knicks, Donovan Mitchell told the media, quote, "It's just hilarious. We've done something that we haven't done since 2018. There's going to be criticism everywhere on Kenny, but why? We did it. We did it with him, and we didn't just go out there and coach ourselves. I love Kenny. We love Kenny. We ride with Kenny, and ultimately that's all that matters." Atkinson will be entering the third of a 5-year deal there in Cleveland. He's won 70% of his games in the regular season the past 2 years, but Tito, a pair of disappointing playoff exits in the second round against the Pacers last year, and then, of course, they were just swept in pretty quick fashion against the Knicks earlier this week. Not shocked that you had to see the news of, yes, he will. Yeah. I'm not shocked he's back, right? But not shocked you saw the report that, yes, it had to be confirmed.
He's quickly becoming the James Harden of coaching. But on that same note, Harden said he wants to stay with Cleveland and is willing to sign a multi-year deal, taking a less average annual value to see. I want to stay in Cleveland. I want to be here. And so, but the Atkinson thing, though, I don't know, Bob, just based on what we've heard him say and how he's talked about and also been out coached in New York by Mike Brown. It was just the lack of timeouts or any general stoppage in game 1, and then the comments in the post game after game 3 where he's like, "Well, we should be up, or 4. We should be up. Yeah, game 3. We should be up 2-1. 2-1.
Game 5 tonight.
He just doesn't. He's not a guy that exudes confidence and leadership. And so if you're looking for like somebody to take this team to the next level, like, I don't know that it's him that's the answer. And that's the thing. Like, I'm curious what you can do in the offseason if you bring back James Harden and Kenny Atkinson, what this looks like. Does it look like the same? Do you even get back to where you were? Because it feels like that might be a tougher task given the rise of some of the other teams in the East.
Yeah, if they bring back essentially, the same squad or most of the same squad, I don't know why you'd expect different results on that one. Atkinson, like I said yesterday, I thought his seat was warm, but like you said, Bodie, I would have been surprised if they would have fired him. It wouldn't have shocked me.
It wouldn't have shocked me. It would have scale 1 to 10, maybe a 7, we'll say, in terms of like how surprised I would have been if he was just let go.
Not like your head stapled to the car.
Exactly. Yeah, not quite that there, Cousin Eddie. But I do think they're going to make at least one pretty decent-sized move this offseason.
They need to.
Just because I just don't think you can run it back just like this.
Right.
And especially, too, because even if you bring back Harden on a longer-term deal, but less annual. Oh, yeah.
Maybe a 5-year.
I don't think – so I was reading Joe Varden had a good article in The Athletic that I was reading yesterday. I think due to like an age restriction thing, they can actually only sign him to a 2-year deal.
Right, yeah. We talked about yesterday briefly. Yeah, like there's the NBA now. Yeah,
good for Cleveland probably. Yeah. But like even just bringing him back, and so he has a $42 million player option. Mm-hmm. If he declines that, I'm guessing he's signing for at least 25 to 30 range.
I would think
probably
so.
Fair to say, right? Like he'll take a pay cut, but he's not going to take like $15 million a year.
Right.
They're going to already be pushing like the first apron. Just bringing back Harden on that deal. And once you get into the first apron, and especially the second apron, if they bring back some of their bench guys, and God bless Dan Gilbert, like it's funny. I remember being a kid-ish. I was in high school when LeBron bolted and went to Miami, and he sent out that letter of like, we'll win before the king ever does. And that didn't exactly come to fruition for Dan Gilbert. But when he did that, I always thought like, man, this guy must be a terrible owner. Like they could never build around LeBron. Then he sends out this scathing letter when he leaves. Actually, he's been a pretty great owner. Granted, not every like trade and every head coach GM hires worked out perfectly, but he spends money. There's no question about that. And the first time around, they didn't do a great job building around LeBron, but it wasn't a lack of effort. They just made bad moves, and they spent, which is really what you can always, kind of the biggest thing you can ask for out of an owner. But nevertheless, I just feel like I would wonder that I don't know if you can bring back this roster and go into the first and second apron to do so. This isn't like Golden State 5-6 years ago when the Lakers.
You're paying to maybe get to the finals.
Exactly.
The Eastern Conference Finals.
This Knicks team, I don't know exactly where they are as far as apron goes, but I have to imagine they're pretty deep into it with the amount of like salaries they have with their guys. Oklahoma City's going to hit a point here soon, but like those are championship level teams, and if ownership's willing to pay for it, it makes a lot of sense. This Cleveland team just has shown in the last few years that they aren't that level, and I just don't know that you can run it back like that. Now, the one pipe dream, I guess, if you will, is obviously would be bringing in LeBron.
Oh,
but,
yeah.
like, they would have to like shed so much salary to do so.
You know what?
And
You know what the final Lord of the Rings is called?
What's that?
The Return of the King.
Oh, well, King in the North or Cleveland coming back home.
Do you guys know what team had the highest payroll in the NBA this year? Active player payroll.
Oh, I think it was Cleveland.
It was
it?
Cleveland.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Cleveland had over 242 million. Second was Minnesota.
Okay. Yeah. Gobert, Edwards, Julius Randle.
Third was Golden State. Fourth was Dallas.
Oof. God.
And fifth was the Knicks. I know. And fifth was the Knicks.
I wonder if that was still some Anthony Davis left over.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
His dollars were floating on there.
But right there, read that list one more time.
Cavs.
Okay.
T-Wolves.
Yep.
Warriors. Mavericks. Knicks.
I mean, that's two legitimate championship contenders. The Knicks, obviously.
Right.
And then I would still throw Minnesota in there. I know they got bounced in 6 games to San Antonio, but the West is really good. And they had some tough luck with injuries there with Edwards and then DiVincenzo blowing out.
You feel like that team is built to win, and they
yes.
could, like next
if
year.
Minnesota was in the East, I think I think they would have won the East this year. Whereas like Cleveland, and then especially, I mean, hey, good news, Cavs fan, you could be Golden State. Although I guess you would trade the last 9 years for Golden State to be what they are now. It's just, just not sure you can run back this team for how expensive it'll be. And then, like I said, I can't tell you all the apron rules right off the top of my head, but it becomes truly like hindering. It really hinders how much you can like even just make the basic like trades and whatnot if you get to the deadline again next February and decide you want to make some moves.
And just to appease Dragon, who's in the chat, I have no idea though. We'll talk the Celtics right now. That's why they did it. That's why they got rid of.
Yes, that's why they shedded all the salaries and whatnot. It wasn't that they really wanted to. It just made the most sense for the long haul.
And it's interesting, real quick, you mentioned the Harden thing can do, you only sign like a 2-year deal. Same thing for LeBron. So, like, other teams can't say, hey, we'll give you 4 years.
Yeah.
It's like it really makes it tougher for another team to swoop in and get you if they can only offer the same years and less money.
Yeah. To the NFL here, guys, just 5.5 months after tearing the ACL and LCL in his left knee, Patrick Mahomes was back on the practice field as OTAs got underway on Tuesday for the Kansas City Chiefs. The extent of his work was unknown as the team's first practice session was closed to the media, but tomorrow's practice on Thursday will be open, so we'll get a better glimpse of how much the star quarterback is getting work in out on the gridiron. Since he tore up his knee back on December 14th last season in a 16-13 loss against the LA Chargers, Mahomes has made it his mission this offseason to be ready for the Week 1 matchup against the Broncos and Denver. That game will take place in the Mile High City on Monday night, September 14th, the first Monday night game of the year. So it would be exactly 9 months to the day since the injury occurred for him. So, Carp, I figure with the advances of modern science and his high-level income, I don't see why Mahomes can't be suited up potentially for that Game 1 win, Week 1 game in Denver there.
Oh, it makes a lot of sense. He's been working really hard to get back at it, and probably for his boy Travis's wedding. Wants to make sure he can be healthy for that, get on the dance floor, really look good. So, yeah, there's I think he'll be ready to go. Will he probably look the same Week 1? Maybe not. I think he may have to play his way into what we've seen
for
as
sure.
The old Pat Mahomes. But at some point, too, I don't know if you necessarily want the old Pat Mahomes out there either. You want him to kind of evolve as a player and what he's given you.
The medical advances, Bob, you would know this much better than I would, which is common here. But anyway, when you talk about the medical advances with the knee, the fact that you can maybe do this, is it more about the technique of which they complete an operation, or is it more about knowing how to rehab it?
It's just the rehab process is way better, and the skills they have, how to measure it. I mean, just the general knowledge they have of what to do with it.
I got you. Yeah, I know that for a long time in the NFL, ACL meant your career was over.
That was a long time ago.
Long time. I'm saying, yeah, but I know there's been obviously a lot of advances. We saw what, Rodgers was able to do when he came back at his age. Granted, he wasn't.
Achilles is way worse than an ACL.
Yeah. Yeah, those are usually at least a year. ACL, though, now it's quicker on that. But when Rodgers came back, it took some time for him to. It took the first 7 games of that season with the Jets before he finally started looking like he did.
And I don't know that you ever look exactly the same with ACL, especially the other thing, too, is the age.
Achilles, you mean, right?
Your Achilles.
Yeah.
The Achilles, especially when you're as old as Aaron was. Like, you get plus 40, that's a hard – your body doesn't heal the same way.
So, but I know I did some research on it that, the first 7 games of the Jets when he came back were very pedestrian. The last 10 were more akin to what Rodgers did in his final year in Green Bay. I mean, yes, it's never going to be what he was, but he did have you saw a jump in his numbers the last 10 games versus the first 7. He was still rehabbing from that. And so, yeah, I've got confidence Mahomes will be out there. I think he'll be out. And I don't think the NFL would schedule the Chiefs and Broncos for the first Monday night game if they thought it would be Justin
Give
Fields.
Give him some of that
center.
Russian gas that I've heard so much about.
Roger walked up to Andy Reid and said, "What's the deal with Patty?"
Yeah.
Torn ACL. I think he's done for week 1. What if he plays?
What if he hurt it any worse?
Send him over to Europe. Let's go.
Yeah, so, but you think that's fair to say, Bob, that the NFL wouldn't have done that unless they were very confident Mahomes will be out there?
Very confident is strong, but I think that they probably had a pretty good inkling that he would be ready to go, assuming no setbacks.
Right.
Like he doesn't re-tear it dancing on the side of the highway or something.
Or what? Isn't that where Deshaun hurt his Achilles? What's that? Was that what?
That's why I said it. That
he was dancing.
Yes.
No, was it a wedding though? I was going to say because I was going to wonder if it was a wedding where Deshaun that happened with him, or was just out on a night on the town.
I thought it was like a video of him beside his car.
That's what I thought it was too. Yeah. He's just dancing, man.
Right.
It's like Footloose. You can't contain him.
That's what I'm telling you. If I'm the Browns, that's what I do.
The kids dance.
I would say to the team that's part of like whoever the captain on the team is, I don't know who it is for the Browns, if you even have one, but say, hey, look.
I was scared.
Deshaun, let's go out dancing. And just see what happens. See if he can tear it again. And then you don't have to worry about him being your week 1 starter. All right. Coming up next, there was a ranking for all 138 FBS QB situations ahead of the upcoming season. Who's in Tier 1? We'll talk about that next. Morning Juice.
I'm Tracy Townsend, anchor at 10 TV News This Morning. This community is my home, and it means everything to me. I care deeply about the stories we bring you each day, especially the ones that truly impact your life, from women's health and advocacy to the decisions happening at the State House. My goal is simple: help you feel informed and connected, because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to 10 TV News This Morning, weekdays from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
Bobby Carpenter here with the Riverside Bank of Dublin Sports Money Report. Baseball is a business built on patience. From long seasons to long-term contracts, the smartest organizations know success isn't just about one big swing. It's about consistency, development, and managing resources over time. Here's Chuck Moore, CEO, and Travis Sanders, president of Riverside Bank of Dublin, on how they help clients sustain success over time.
Winning teams invest in their farm systems, manage payroll wisely, and play the percentages. That same approach applies to your finances. At Riverside Bank of Dublin, we focus on steady growth and smart decision-making, and we invest in our people.
That's right, Travis. Riverside Bank helps create financial plans designed to last, not just for this season, but for years to come. Because whether it's building a championship roster or building financial security, fundamentals always win. Riverside Bank of Dublin, trusted, local, and committed to helping you succeed. Look for our new branch location in Bridge Park in Dublin.
Tune in every day for the Riverside Bank of Dublin Sports Money Report. Visit their office at 6300 France Road in Dublin or online at riverside.bank.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Maybe it was a family vacation or a school field trip. But there you were, standing in awe at a national park. We are the National Park Foundation, and together with you, we're creating a future where every person, every generation, gets their chance at an unforgettable moment. Today, tomorrow, forever. Learn more at nationalparks.org/foundation.
It's been a real journey since 2014 when I first had my injury. I realized that my home was just not working for me and that it was time to ask for help. Homes for Our Troops is really giving me my life back. The shower allows me to go in and turn around with my chair, pull down storage racks, automated door systems, hours of my morning given back to me. Adaptive sports are a huge part of my life, a huge part of my healing journey as well. Homes for Our Troops helped with making sure that I had a home gym so that I can continue to train. This past year, I was able to host Thanksgiving in my home. I And it was the first time I was able to have my whole family in one place, and I was able to contribute to the meal. There are a lot more veterans in need, and Homes for Our Troops is going to be there to help them too.
Homes for Our Troops builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post 9/11 veterans and enables them to rebuild their lives. Join our mission at hfotusa.org.
Proud to be your go-to sports addiction.
WBNS, WBNS FM, HD3 Columbus.
The Fan 3, Ohio sports destination. Attack and dominate. You're locked into Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
Toaster Bob time, Bobby. David Hale from ESPN. He admits that...
it's really not Coaster Bob time.
Why not?
Because we halfway through the week, we have to finish today's show.
Well, we've done...
I guess we did do a show on Monday. Yeah. Never mind. It was one thing. It was Memorial Day, and it was, but we did a show. So you're correct. Good job.
Thank you, Bob. You made me think about it. It made me think if I was wrong or not there for a second. David Hale for ESPN admits in the start of this article, ranking quarterbacks 3 months before the first game is inherently more art than science. Yes. He went through and did these different tiers for the quarterback rooms of college football teams. He has tier 1A. Why do you 1A, 1B? Just do tier 1 and 2. Anyway, tier 1A consists of Miami with Mensah there, Notre Dame with C.J. Carr, Ole Miss with Trinidad Chambliss, and Texas with Arch Manning. He's got those 4 quarterback rooms as the highest, like his highest ranked ones, the ones he thinks are in the best situations.
The 1As.
Yeah, but I just...
That implies the highest.
I know it does, Bob. But so I was going to ask you, though, do you agree or have a problem with any of those being in the 1A tier?
Is this just based upon their starting quarterback or their whole quarterback room? I'm going to be honest. I don't know who Miami has after Mensah. Bodie, who's their backup after?
It's not great, Bob. I'll tell you that right now. If C.J. Carr goes down, that's the old Tom Moore. Boys, if 18 goes down, we're bleeped, and we ain't going to practice bleeped.
Yeah, it's pretty much just the quarterbacks is what the starting quarterbacks, Bob.
So it's not really the quarterback room. It's just the quarterback.
Right. Quarterback situation. How about that?
Well, the situation implies that there's multiple guys. Like that's...
Yeah, it's interesting. The title of the article says situation, but really it's just starting quarterback.
Yes, because the situation would imply like your quarterback situation. If this guy goes down, the situation becomes, like you said, Bodie, we may be practicing bleeped. So is Miami, Notre Dame, who else was in there?
Miami, Notre Dame, Ole Miss, and Texas.
Texas is the one that's interesting because Arch played better at the end of the season. But struggled obviously at the beginning. I think that there's still some projection going into that.
Right.
With him, Trinidad Chambliss was very good at the end of the year, and he's coming back. Darian Mensah, like he was really good at Duke. Will he continue to be that good at Miami? Or will he get better with better players around him, I guess? That's the question.
And then tier 1B, and it says great, but also has Jeremiah Smith, Ohio State, Julian Sand. They are in a tier by themselves as 1B.
So they're 1B because it doesn't say why they're below the other?
It does not say that as I'm looking here, why one's below the other, but it was Sand versus ranked Power 4 opponents, 2-2 record, 59.2 QBR, 68% completion rate, 6 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 6.9 yards per drop back. And against the unranked Power 4 opponents, 8-0, 92.8, 80% completion, 19 touchdowns, 1 interception. So he's basically saying that maybe Smith is the reason, I guess, or Smith certainly plays a big role in where Sand is, but he's got him at 1B because of Sand's numbers against ranked Power 4 opponents last year.
And his last 2 games weren't great.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the reality of it. Like, he was pretty good most of the season, good enough to get to the Heisman nod. And probably if he outplays Mendoza and they win against Indiana, and he probably wins the Heisman Trophy. And that's how the delineation of this thing can work, and just how one game or a couple plays, even within a game, can define all of that. And so if you're going to say like your quarterback situation, part of the situation is who you're throwing to and who you're getting blocked, who's blocking for you.
And that's also, Bob, and then if you move further down the list, Tier 2 is LSU, Oregon, and USC. But with Oregon, they did list Dante Moore and Dylan Raiola.
So then they put 2 in there.
Yeah.
And people have said Dante Moore is going to be, the number 1 quarterback taken this year. He would have been the second last year. So I don't know how we define who's good or what not. And then you obviously have Dylan Raiola behind him, who is was a very highly recruited and prospective talent in his own right, who is supposed to be like highly talented the next coming. So I'm just trying to figure out, just like your situation, Jeff, where you're like, well, what does it mean to be the most outstanding? Well, what does it mean? What is the best situation?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did like how he writes in the article with Tier 2, which he calls the tier of, are you not entertained? It's splitting hairs a bit between Tier 1 and Tier 2, with the key difference being imagination. For the quarterbacks in Tier 1, 2025 was a first step toward a vast future. They were excellent and bigger things are ahead. I would argue that's exactly what Dante Moore was last year. First, I know he played a bit at UCLA, but that was kind of a mess there. Goes to Oregon, redshirts for a year, but then really jumps onto the scene last year.
Right.
I mean, I'd put him, like I said, I know he played a bit more than these two did, but I'd put him right there in that category of Sayan and Carr, where it's like highly, highly rated coming out of high school.
Right.
Like I said, I know he played a bit at UCLA before heading to Oregon there, but then redshirted for a year behind Bo Nix, just like Carr did behind Riley Leonard, Sayan did behind Will Howard, and then had a great debut season in their sophomore year for Dante. It was just, like I said, junior year, but
he's projected, Bob, to be one of the first 2 quarterbacks taken in the draft. Depending on what Archie Manning does, but this upcoming season, Georgia's Kirby Smart said he'd support the SEC breaking away and play by our own rules, is what he said. Here's his quote. He said, "I've been a huge advocate that if we can't find rules that everybody played by, then we should play by on our own. I'm not afraid of that. I'm not afraid to break away and say that our conference is strong enough to go out and have and play. I mean, if we could actually function financially, would make our programs more stable, and we could support things financially. I'm talking about all the sports, and then do them by our own rules. I'd be all for that."
Yeah, they've talked about that. That's one of the things now. You break away, I mean, who do you play? How does that work? What's the non-conference look like? Are you still part of the playoff? Everybody wants to have a rule set up in place. The problem is, they put the CSC in and nobody listens to it. And so you have to have something in there with teeth that everybody agrees upon, and there's actual punishments that are going to transpire because of that. And so I don't disagree with that. And I don't know if it's just saber rattling or not. It seems like there might be an idea of them just trying to break away. Now, what do they do in the other sports, and how does that all work? Those are things that have to be resolved.
Because you mentioned the scheduling thing. I mean, I guess if they broke away, I would think they would try
all conference games.
Well, I would say, first of all, I could see them trying to poach a couple of teams from another conference maybe and try to get to 18 or 20. And then have 2 10-team divisions.
This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard, though. I'm so sick and tired of hearing about so many of these coaches bitch and complain about all the problems with the sport, and apparently nobody wants to step up to fix it.
Right.
You're telling me if Kirby Smart and the Ryan Days and Dan Lannings of the world didn't just step up and say, we're going to get this done and we're going to do it now, and go to their athletic directors and presidents, we couldn't get this thing figured out. Come on, man. We're what are we talking about? This 16-team SEC breaking, what do we do? I don't know. Are they just tired of losing in the national championship and in the playoff each year? That's the priceless part too, is for years it was wow, we'll just break away because we're so much better than everybody. Well, now you can't actually win the national title anymore, so I don't know. Just going to go have your own national title that you can actually win? When
he's saying set our own rules, I don't know what that would entail. What rules are you most upset? Is it
transfer stuff?
But everyone's breaking rules and that kind of crap. Though.
That's what I just said.
I know.
I said they put these in place, and then everybody just chooses to break them. They complain and break them anyway. And so the one thing about trying to put some transfer stuff in place is the one thing I think that people they're really not even the NIL. It's mostly the transfer portal situation.
That's what I'd love to hear is what what would he suggest? What would he recommend? As
a lot of
far
people
as,
are for a one-time transfer.
Yeah, one-time transfer, I know Dave
that or
talks
stay
about,
for 2 years.
Yeah, the 2-year thing that Dave has talked about.
One of those two would probably go a long way, and I think that would fix a lot of the NIL problems because you wouldn't have guys just bouncing around every year for the highest paycheck.
Right.
And we can sit here and say, well, they shouldn't do that, but I don't know, man. If a radio station up the road called you and said, hey, we'll give you a 1-year deal, Tito, $500,000. And then a year later, the next radio station was like, hey, we'll do the same $650.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Why would you not take it?
Guns for hire on that one. But, the coach keeps saying the stuff but the rules, there's no way to enforce the rules right now for the most part.
Nobody's trying to enforce the rules.
Right. And so
This isn't Nom, Smokey. There are rules.
I think that the fact that, that it's going to be hard, Bob, to find rules for, I think, all of college football. Just because it's almost like, Spark Gaines said about the Reds that, there was different rules for different players. There's a Jordan rules also. Is there different rules for the power conferences?
Well, that's what they're trying to do.
I know he's trying to do it separately with the SEC, but...
Well, no, but that's what they've been looking at doing. That's why they've created, the group of the Power Four and trying to create legislation and things that impact them at a different degree than it impacts other people.
Do you have any confidence, though, they'll be able to do it? They'll get it done?
Well, it's about the will of somebody wanting to do it and the desire of people trying to actually solve the problem. Now, there is a legal element to this where there are things that they have to do that would be defined by legal, and that's legally, or else they're just going to get sued. So you can set all the rules up you want if they don't necessarily, if they're going to be challenged in court and overturned, then those rules don't matter anyway. So they're going to have to figure something out on a legal basis of how that looks. And the reality is that people finally started to come around to it, and I forget which AD it was. I think Virginia Tech saying, we have to collectively bargain this. That's what it's going to be.
Let's just go back to paying people under the table. Let's just do that. Go back to those days when you just had to speculate. But this now is all out there that.
What does some of that look like then, Carp? Is that the top 50, 60 Power 4 schools breaking away?
It's however many want. Not even breaking away. You can still play other.
Well, kind of. I don't know if it's a. Right now we have FBS and FCS, right?
Kind of something like that,
FBS
maybe.
into two.
And FBS can still play FCS teams. They still play each other.
Yeah, Ohio State could still host Kent State, but
like,
maybe they're not just playing for the same national championship.
Yeah, you can play for a different championship. You have different rules. You play an FCS team. Ohio State played Youngstown State. They have less scholarships.
Yeah.
You're playing a team that is at an inherent disadvantage already.
Yeah.
And no one talks about that. But that's the reality. So that's no different than if there's some sort of delineation with this. And you can still play those games, but hey, this is how we're going to govern it because this is our financial situation versus someone else's financial situation.
Let's say they broke off to a, like you mentioned, Bodie, a power conference or power league with 40 teams in it, okay? And they put that number out there, 40 teams. Does Purdue get invited?
Well, that becomes...
If it's just for football.
And that's what's interesting about this is how that's going to work. Is it just on a conference basis? Is it who really wants to commit to do it? Because that's the thing. I don't know that everybody's going to want to financially commit to have to do that and what it's going to all look like and how you're going to be constrained with certain things.
And if you're Fox and you want to put Ohio State on Big Noon every week, why do they want to pay for Purdue, right?
Exactly. You're paying for the best.
Yeah.
And that's part of the problem.
Mike Elko also had a good comment on some of this, too.
Was very good.
When he said, quote, if we don't find a way to create some level of regulation in the market, a lot of people are going to be bankrupt pretty quickly. We're 2.5 years away from having an NIL budget that's greater than the TV revenue for our entire university. He also basically just lit fire to the 2014 playoff, basically, which I love.
He's
Mike
it's
Elko
all self-serving for coaches.
He said, he's like, how many teams do I want in? How about 40? Because then Mike Elko doesn't get fired. He went all third person there on us. But he's right. Imagine 4 or 5 years ago when NIL started, a $50 million roster. Would have sounded nuts.
Yeah.
Ohio State had a, air quotes, $20 million roster 2 years ago when they won the title. And that was a big deal.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Where are we at in society paying a roster $20 million? Now, if they were paying that this year, they'd finish fourth in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
And not in revenue, I mean record. And I don't know.
Well, that's what
there seems to be no stopping it. And
well, that's one of the things Kirby Smart, he came out and said, he's like, we have to get this under control, or college athletics, as we know, will cease to exist simply due to the fact you're not going to be able to fund everything anymore. And I don't know if you saw this, like Virginia Tech just went to the privatized some of the division, like of their athletic department, had started an LLC, and how it's going to work and different things. So there's a lot of stuff that's moving and changing dramatically. When there was no changes forever, now it's changing rapidly and dramatically. And so there's good and bad to that. Like some of the changes are probably good. There's other things where some things are bad. And then there's probably some stuff in the middle that the changes and tweaks could happen. They just need to be probably a little more judicious in how they do it.
One of the things we've railed on with the SEC is that late season game against a cupcake opponent. And the
no
SEC,
more cupcakes.
SEC athletic directors voted to play conference games on the second to last week of the regular season, eliminating what's been commonly referred to as the cupcake games before rivalry weekend. I think there are 4 teams that have one of those scheduled for this year. It's going to start with 2027, Bob. Makes a lot of sense. It's a positive sign that the SEC is doing this as far as for college football, because those like Alabama Citadel games were never really that much fun to follow or watch.
Yeah, but it got them ready for Auburn.
It did. That's fair. So they voted on that, and the SEC, to their credit, has upgraded the scheduling for the SEC by the fact they decided to go to 9 conference games.
Yep.
And then the fact they're doing this also, it's great for college football, and it's great for college football fans.
That'll be good. It'll be good to watch. Now we'll see if the elimination of some of those bigger non-conference games still happens, given the elimination of one of those conference games that they'll be playing, with going to 9 as opposed to 8. And so we'll have to kind of figure out how all that's going to shake out and break down over the next couple of years of how this is all going to operate. But I think they're trying. Coaches are finally speaking out, I think, a lot more. Like Mike Elko coming out and being like, yeah, it's great for me, 40, why not?
Yeah.
I mean,
he had a great comment, too.
He may have been making fun of Bielema, who's like, I heard 32 was tossed around.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
Hey,
why stop there?
Yeah.
How about
64.
we just go to 64? Yeah, because Elko talking about the playoff. I don't know why you ask us. It doesn't matter what we think. I don't know why we're trying to become a trophy sport. What does Mike Elko want? Here we go, third person
right,
again.
yeah.
40 teams. Then I won't get fired. We don't have to find a number that allows we do not have to find a number that allows everyone to get in. It's okay for it to be hard to get into the playoff. None of us are answering for the good of the sport. We're answering for the good of ourselves.
Yeah.
Get him, Mike.
Selfish beasts unite.
And that's absolutely true. Yeah, it's like if I'm a coach, load it up. I don't care how many. Let's go to 68 with playing games. Let's do that.
Exactly, yeah. But that's not healthy for the sport.
It's not. No, it's not.
And I know, us fans, what can we do about it? Nothing.
Nothing really.
But I don't know. Shouldn't we have some sort of voice? 10 years from now, when Eli Drinkwitz is out at Missouri, I'm still going to be liking watching college football. You know what I'm saying?
It's interesting because Greg Sankey also said, he goes, I know this is anecdotal, I haven't done any full research. He goes, but I've never talked to any fans out there that said we need a 2014 playoff. And I think that that's probably true. I don't think anybody's out there just pounding the war drum to get that as far as a fan consumption pieces.
Right.
So that was the argument of are we giving people what they want, or are we just telling them what they want and giving it to them?
Yeah.
Yeah, and everyone, and I'm sure the people making the decisions are making the arguments on these things, 16, 24, stay at 12, whatever. They figured that it's not going to change how much we consume the product. I think that's their.
And that's a false
that.
assumption. It's a false assumption. People's tastes change over time, and if you do stuff that people don't like consistently enough, they will turn it off. They will quit consuming your products.
There's a lot of reasons for this, and I'm not saying it's directly correlated to just how many teams are in the playoffs and whatnot, but imagine 25 years ago, telling somebody baseball's going to kind of fade and not really be the sport in this country. It would have sounded crazy. Remember when the home run chase was a big deal?
Right.
Aaron.
Because they got him off the sauce.
I didn't know.
Let's be real.
But it's Aaron Judge broke Roger Maris's however long old record that
1961
was. A few years ago.
Allegedly clean.
And allegedly, you never know. And let's be honest. Well, I guess I shouldn't say nobody cared because ESPN was cutting away from college
nobody
football
outside
games
New York cared.
Not really. No.
I was saying I didn't wake up to read the newspaper the next day to see if you did anything, but then again, I don't think I had a newspaper back then, so I haven't had a newspaper for years, so I haven't done that at all. Yeah, Bob, I know they could. And baseball's it was late 70s, early 80s when the 81 strike really made it faded baseball a lot. Now they did get it back around the 98 when they said that the steroids saved baseball. But by and large, though, baseball is not nearly as popular as it was in the 60s, the 70s, in that time. And it's just I try to picture in my mind a way that college football or the NFL could screw it up. Because it just seems to me like 6 days a week.
We saw Jason Kelsey come out and talk about just the proliferation of games, NFL losing what made it special on Sundays.
Right.
Yeah.
And like college football Saturday, NFL Sunday, you call those things part of it. And it's okay, you have things sprinkled out, but do we need a game every day of the week? Like, really? I think that's what Jason was saying. Like, you're starting to lose some of what the NFL was built upon and just owning that day. And now we have ways to watch all the games at the same time anyway.
Yeah.
So you don't necessarily need the proliferation of them to other days.
And do we need 18 games? Do we need 7 teams in each conference making the playoffs? I mean, now you just what used to be like, man, big game.
Yeah.
Bengals facing the Ravens, got to get this one for the division and whatnot. Right. Now it's just like, we got 17 more of these.
Right.
We can lose and we'll probably be fine.
Coming up next, Austin Ward will join us. Morning Juice.
Hey, I know some of you out there are dealing with this pain, and you've been dealing with it so long, it's become a constant in your body, and you begin to think, well, maybe this is just the new normal. Listen, you want to get back to being carefree, being fun, being active, doing the things that you love. Well, that can all start with an introduction to Dr. Ray Tesner and his team at QC Kinetics. Their regenerative treatments for joint pain can help you out, and they're located right here in Columbus, in Dublin, and Gahanna. They helped me. They helped my father. They got me back to running again with the pain in my knee. It is completely gone now, and I feel tremendous. They're helping patients from their pain, just like me, whether it's arthritis in their knees, hips, shoulders. They're moving, they're sleeping better, they're golfing, running, all the things you want to do. And the best part is it's without surgery or a long recovery. The science is real. I've researched it. The treatments, they're natural. Your body can heal itself. Let QC Kinetics get them the tools to be able to do that. So don't let that inflammation sit any longer. Go to qckinetics.com/Columbus or call 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544.
I'm Brianna Albizu, traffic anchor for 10 TV News this morning. Columbus is quickly becoming my home, and this community has welcomed me with open arms. My mission is simple, to help you get to where you're going quickly and safely. Whether it's helping you beat the slowdown on 270 or giving you detours around major construction, we've got you covered. Because when your morning's on the move, so are we. Make the move to 10 TV News this morning, weekdays from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
James Laurinaitis here for my guys at Green & Sons, the premier Kubota dealership in Central Ohio. Green & Sons has all the Kubotas you need to tackle your land and come out a winner. They have zero-turn skid steers, tractors from 18 to 171 horsepower, and also utility vehicles. My favorite is my RTV Sidekick. The best thing about Green & Sons is they've been family-owned and operated since 1970, and you will love dealing with the Green family and their winning team. Do what I did and check out Green & Sons located in Mount Sterling and Marysville or online at greenandsons.com for all your Kubota needs.
You know a thing or two about the moments in life that matter. You've seized those moments to embrace joy, accomplish great things, and build meaningful relationships. Is it time now to sit back and reflect on a life well lived? Maybe. Or maybe there's more to be done. Maybe this is the most important moment you've encountered yet. By volunteering with AmeriCorps Seniors, you can seize the moment, lend a hand, and get back more than you give. We connect you to local volunteer organizations with opportunities that fit your schedule and match your interests. Through AmeriCorps Seniors, you can support people in times of need and make your community stronger. You can become a companion to your older neighbors, brightening their days with friendship. You can even become a mentor for young people, serving as a role model and enriching their lives. Are you ready to seize your moment? Visit AmeriCorps.gov/yourmoment and get started today.
Attack and dominate. You're locked into Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Riverside Bank of Dublin.
Here's Bobby and Tito.
Bobby, Tito, Bodie, this guy.
A guy who considers himself the mayor of Laramie, Wyoming, who holds the shuffleboard record at the Ranger, and most impressive, the commissioner of the Central Ohio Two-Man Scramble League. Here's Austin Ward.
Look at that guy, Austin Ward, joining us there, adding more handsome looks to the YouTube and all the social media stuff you're watching the show. Austin, this time of year, is this when you would start putting together your watch lists?
Oh, I don't make those watch lists, Tito. I just react to them. I let other people do that work, and then I say, you know what? That was a horrible snub. That was an oversight. But I don't want to do that myself because it's way too early. You know, I know that it's thankless work for those people because they're largely going to get criticized, but it just seems so silly to me that this is still the way college football awards are done or the narratives are created for the season, to put all this stuff out in advance. And it does give us plenty to talk about on a Wednesday morning or at 6 p.m. on the Buckeye Show or on the Austin and Berm Show presented by the Waterworks, any of those things. But I don't want to make them myself because it's too hard. Back when I covered the Big Ten as a whole for ESPN, Tito, we'd have to, do some of this. And I'd always feel like it'd feel dirty to me, like dishonest, because how did I know everyone who was on the Illinois roster? Or at that time, Indiana was, believe it or not a very good football program. I wasn't paying attention to their too deep. The program that I knew best was the powerhouse of the Big Ten because I lived in Columbus and that was my day-to-day responsibility. So I know that when people zoom out even further and don't just cover one league where you can't even monitor everyone who's in it. The Big Ten wasn't even 18 teams. That's how old I was when I was, or how old I am now. But, you can't pay attention to 130 rosters and every player in college football to make those actually be accurate.
One of your favorites, since you used to cover the Volunteers,
Don't do it, Bob.
the SEC spring meetings, we got a lot of news coming out of there. What's been some of your favorite sound bites that you've heard thus far?
Well, I was flying back from Texas on Tuesday night and, just scanning some of the headlines from Destin, Florida. And, of course, it leads and kicks off with your guy, Bob, Lane Kiffin, having to, talk about his relationship or the divorce from Ole Miss and the Vanity Fair story and weighing in on everything else that's gone into his offseason. And I've already gone well past the point of Kiffin fatigue. If this is what it's going to be like at SEC meetings, what is the coverage going to be like in 2 months in Birmingham at media days when everybody actually gathers and puts 100 cameras in his face? Or what is it, week 3 when he returns to Oxford? It's like I've personally never understood, and sometimes you and I have disagreed about this, Bob, but because I think you find him more entertaining than I do. I don't understand what makes him such a fascinating character to people, and it just tells me that they have his gimmick of 10-second sound bites works, or trolling on social media, it works, and people think that that's the real Lane Kiffin, and I'm just here to tell you that it's not.
He is one half of Austin and Berm. Catch their podcast on 10 TV Plus. Anywhere you get your podcast, check them out there. If you had to make a prediction, how many more seasons will we have? 12 to 16 teams in the CFP.
What the ESPN contract goes through 2032, I believe, somewhere around there. So I find it very difficult to believe that the SEC is going to back down from limiting expansion to 16. And I think that they're fine with 12. And I'm finding a lot more people, Tito, you and Bob both mentioned this in the previous segment. Is there a real human college football fan who is actually asking for 24? I haven't met him. I don't think you guys have either. I know Bodie doesn't want it, although that would help Marcus Freeman. But we have reached this bizarro world where Greg Sankey has somehow become the voice of reason, but the only reason that he's actually doing it is to protect his primary and only television partner in ESPN, because ESPN is not asking for more inventory and they don't want to have to bid on it. They already are not carrying every college football playoff game that they own as it is. We've seen them bid that out the last couple years. They're going to give up, right, a semifinal game at one point in this contract to TNT and TBS or True TV or wherever they're going to put it. Who knows? So you have Tony Petitti, rounding up this herd of cats and getting them towards 24, but to what end? I know we're beating a dead horse that none of us here on this show think that it's a good idea. It doesn't make any sense. But whatever whatever Greg Sankey's motivations are, I don't really care if it gets us to the right outcome, which in my opinion is 16 at the max. And I'm actually okay with 12. More and more people have come around on the idea that 12 is enough. I actually don't think that the format has been, in the last 2 years, or these first 2 years of it, as much of a disaster as I thought it could be. Now, year one wasn't perfect, although it did work out to the benefit of Ohio State. But they made an adjustment immediately with the way that the seedings work. They have obviously talked about they needing more on-campus games into the future. That's great. But you look at those first-round games and the blowouts that we've seen, and everyone with just that data set is looking at that and saying, you know what? Do we need to see Virginia against USC in a 17-16 game? And I think most people are quickly coming around to the idea that we do not.
Do you the buys though, like in the 12 team, or the team that gets a buy in the first round typically has not been great in their next game? Is that something that needs to be addressed? Or like if you go to 16, obviously you won't have to do that if you do go to that number. But is that something that you think? Like I can't figure out what you think, or think there's a common theme among. Is it because just the rest?
Well, I think my answer on that, Tito, would be, can we wait? We gave the 4-team playoff a decade before they wanted to make a change. They've got 2 years of data points or inventory, to use their parlance. Like, one of those teams had a bye and still won the national championship in the first 2 years. So it is certainly possible that happens. So what if you gave it 2 more years to look at that? Or what would be the record of teams with a bye in 6 years? Or what would happen if you move up the start of the college football playoff with 12 teams and there are no 3-4 week layoffs going into your first game? There are a lot of other changes that could potentially be made, and it's crazy to me what kind of hurry they're actually in to get that done. I'm not saying that it has been perfect by any stretch of the imagination, and it would have been almost impossible to convince me 3 years ago that I would be sitting here saying 12's probably fine. Think I'm okay with it, because I thought it was ridiculous and stupid when they made the move, and 16 does make more mathematical sense, including for the reason that you just mentioned, Tito, with removing the buys and whatever inequity or rust exists there. So, but would that be the case every year? Maybe next year, all 4 teams with a bye are going to win their games. Like, we don't know what that looks like. We don't have enough data to actually make that decision right now. We're dealing with the ultimate in small sample sizes, and out of all the reasons that exist for change or keeping it the same, I think the 1-7 record with the bye through 2 years is probably not the best one to do it.
Kirby Smart and some of the other coaches have talked about this and the unsustainability of the path that the financial element is on with college football, and a lot of these rosters now are between 35 and 50 million near the top. What does that look like in 3 years? And Kirby Smart's point is, like, what does that do to the collegiate model and how that ultimately looks? Do you believe that they're on a path of instability here, the unsustainability?
Yeah, because you tie this all in together. Like, there's a lot of things happening separately. The overall roster spending is out of control. We can all agree to that. But because you don't even have collective bargaining in place, because you don't have rules and regulations, you have situations like Brendan Sorsby going on where how much longer would Cody Campbell want to sit there and be like, you know what? Is $5 million for 1 year of a college player a great investment, knowing that not only the transfer portal exists out there for some of these players at the top, and I don't mean to pick on Sorsby, who's obviously done some things to improve himself by going through the rehabilitation process, but like that is how quickly that investment can backfire, and there's not great recourse beyond that. Whatever they paid him, I don't think Texas Tech is trying to get out of it, and they're probably not going to see him play a single snap. And all of that is to say he is one example out of now thousands when you're dealing with the transfer portal, when there is no guarantee of a long-term return on that investment. Every program has boosters, but the few at the top, a Larry Ellison, Cody Campbell, Phil Knight, who have no concerns whatsoever about pouring money into a program and come what may. Like most business people don't just blindly throw away money for no reason. That's not how they got rich and successful in the first place. So, it's stretching everybody thin, and the word that I think administrators like to use is donor fatigue. That was setting in well before NIL existed, when it came to the arms race for facilities, when it came to coaching salaries and all those things. But I would like once in a while, Bob, to hear someone like Kirby Smart and even, Ryan Day, he earns every penny. I'm not trying to impact anyone else's pocket, but the spending on coaching salaries is just as unsustainable when you look across college football. And that's not something that we hear a lot of these coaches say when they look at their own skyrocketing payroll or the amount of people that are working at Georgia or the support staff at Ohio State. And I love it. I love the people at Ohio State. They do a fantastic job. I am not trying to damage their bottom line, but there are a lot of factors that aren't just related to player salaries that, in my view, would be not sustainable 6 or 7 years down the road.
Hey, for donor fatigue, aren't there pills for that? I heard.
Was it QC Kinetics? Can they help with that, Bob? I'm not sure.
Probably do a lot.
If you want to cut up some of that sound there, Bodie, it sounded to me like Austin said Ryan Day is overpaid. So maybe get that in the system. That's what it felt like to me. We could probably edit it a little bit to make it more likely. But Austin, we appreciate the time.
I guess this will be the last time.
Slightly overpaid. Let's put it that way. We'll make sure we'll make sure it's not too damaging for your career. Austin, we appreciate the time, buddy. We'll talk again next week.
See you guys.
All right.
Do you need a bank that truly values local business in this town? The opportunity to work alongside them as partners, whether you're a small business or a large operation. Riverside Bank of Dublin, they've got the right tools for the job. Riverside Bank of Dublin has the experience of working right here in Central Ohio. They understand the business climate in our area, and they can help you reach your goals. So whether it's an SBA loan to get your business off the ground, a line of credit to keep your business running smoothly, or even equipment financing to get your business up to scale, Riverside Bank will tailor a solution that fits your needs. Visit them at riverside.bank or stop in and get to know them at 6300 France Road. Riverside Bank of Dublin, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Coming up next, we will talk some NFL. The Bengals are trying to get drafty. Well, let's tell you what's got us juiced. Morning Juice.
Hey, everybody. It's Jeremy Birmingham, Berm from the Austin and Berm Show on 97.1 The Fan. I had one of those days recently where the phone just wouldn't stop and the schedule kept moving. And somehow I felt great. I wasn't carrying around the low-grade anxiety I used to think was just part of being busy. And it made me think about the old version of me, the one that had the afternoon fog, lousy sleep, sugar crashes, a ton of joint pain. All those things I used to shrug off as just a part of life. It wasn't a part of life. It's just what I felt like almost 50 pounds ago. And yeah, losing the weight with Awaken 180 was great, but the benefits that came with it, that's the part people don't talk about enough. I feel clearer, I sleep better, I'm not crashing, I'm not feeling like my body's working against me all day. A GLP-1 may suppress hunger and help to scale, but those meds don't fix the brain fog or the blood sugar crashes or the anxious energy or teach you how to keep it off. Awaken 180 showed me the right way to eat, to adjust and maintain it. Call 844-346-1800 or go to awaken180weightloss.com.
I'm Meredith Garfalo, meteorologist at 10 TV News This Morning, and I'm an Ohio girl. I love golf, aerospace, and all things Ohio sports. For nearly 20 years, I've studied the patterns that shape our days, from winter wonders on the south side to dangerous storms along the I-71 corridor. When the weather changes, you'll be the first to know, because you need a forecast that moves as fast as you do. Make the move to 10 TV News this morning, weekdays from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
You know a thing or two about the moments in life that matter. You've seized those moments to embrace joy, accomplish great things, and build meaningful relationships. Is it time now to sit back and reflect on a life well lived? Maybe. Or maybe there's more to be done. Maybe this is the most important moment you've encountered yet. By volunteering with AmeriCorps Seniors, you can seize the moment, lend a hand, and get back more than you give. We connect you to local volunteer organizations with opportunities that fit your schedule and match your interests. Through AmeriCorps Seniors, you can support people in times of need and make your community stronger. You can become a companion to your older neighbors, brightening their days with friendship. You can even become a mentor for young people, serving as a role model and enriching their lives. Are you ready to seize your moment? Visit AmeriCorps.gov/yourmoment and get started today.
Wrinkles, gray hair, and hearing loss are common signs of getting older. But being short of breath, having tightness in your chest, coughing, and wheezing are not. If you are experiencing these symptoms, you may be one of the millions of people who are living with a condition called COPD but don't know it. Early diagnosis and treatment can add years of better breathing to your life. For more information, talk to your doctor and visit copdfoundation.org today.
Bobby's knees hurt from doing battle with some of football's toughest warriors. Tito's knees hurt from begging Bobby to let him host this show.
Oh, pick me! Oh, I know, me!
This is Morning Juice.
Morning Juice, final segment of the program. Thank you to all the chatters for being there today on the YouTube chat. We do appreciate that. Bob, the city of Cincinnati, according to the Cincinnati Enquirer, is the city is an ongoing conversation with the NFL to bring the 2029 draft to Cincinnati.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's been here one other time in the state of Ohio. Back it was in Cleveland in 2021. But formal bid has not officially been made, but the city is turning its wheels in that direction.
Would you say the wheels in the sky keep on turning?
They do keep on turning.
Good job, Journey.
Yes, they do.
Journey to Cincinnati.
Doesn't know the Peachy mode, but he can pull a 70s Journey song out. That's impressive, Bob. Anyway, so they usually do it 2 years in advance. They make the announcement on that. So you would think they'd have to make it, obviously, because there's still a lot of, I know it's not like Super Bowl planning, but still a lot of planning involved in it as far as making sure they have rooms blocked off for people and whatnot.
Oh, they have to have bids.
Yeah. But I'm saying
the NFL gets paid for you to bring the draft to them.
I understand, but they also have to make sure they have the infrastructure to handle it.
Yeah, that's all part of it. They go around and everybody submits bids. They put down tax revenue, they make sure they have the requisite number of hotels. Where are you going to set everything up?
Right.
What's this going to look like? What do your operations look like? I thought Pittsburgh did a pretty good job, although there were some issues of traveling around and doing things. Nashville was the best host. And those are the only two that I've been to with how they operated it. And so there's some examples and things that they talk and work back and forth. And so it'd be nice. Cincinnati's never getting a Super Bowl, so for them to have that, I think it would be appropriate.
That seems smart by the NFL to do it that way, where, if you're not going to get a Super Bowl, at least we're trying to get you a draft.
Well, especially in the Midwest, as long as it's going to be warm enough.
Right.
You just hope you're playing with fire there at the end of April, early May, with what the weather could be like in the Midwest. But if you have open air stadiums, how can we do something for you? This is kind of the way.
Sports Business Journal reported earlier this month that Cincinnati has the inside track to host in 2029. According to the numbers they put out last year for the NFL, 805,000 attended the draft over the 3 days.
It'll be interesting to see if that can crack 1 million.
Well, but it's also how they count it, though, too, Bob, because I think Floyer was one who said that, if I go into the draft and then go out the gates for some reason, then come back in, that counts as 2.
Is that on an individual day or separate days or what?
I would think it's it'd be individual day for that day. If I come in and go out, that's going to count multiple times. Florio
They
say
pay people to do that.
I don't think they do, but I mean, I could see if. I don't think 800. At least Florio said he doesn't think 800
down to the
5,000.
draft?
No, I haven't been down there yet.
Like going in and going out. I mean, when you're in the area, you're kind of in the area.
Okay.
I mean, I guess you think someone's going to leave during a 3.5, 4 hour block and go back to their hotel room and take a nap for an hour and then come back?
No, I don't understand. But don't they have it at multiple? What they like usually multiple locations where people are watching, right?
They have like a big open area.
Right.
Like you could. Once you're in there, you're kind of in the whole area, though.
Okay.
Like you have to get scanned through. Like there's security.
Yeah.
You can't bring things in. I mean,
Sure.
there's a lot of safety elements. And yeah, there's multiple areas within it. But once you get in, like you're in there. And so then you can go to the different stuff. Like there might be things, a couple where you go in and out, but
Right.
not many.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. So do you think if it went to, I don't know which city, but if there was an Andrew Luck type prospect, going to be the number 1 overall pick, no question, to a team that had the number 1 pick in that city,
So that's the
could
thing.
that get us to $1 million?
It would be really hard to project that, number 1, the player.
Oh, no, I know.
And number
I'm just
2,
thinking.
the team. I mean,
took 2 years out.
Minnesota has it next year.
Yeah. Or
So
2
it's-
years, right? I think it's Washington.
Washington
DC.
next year,
And
yes,
then
for
Minnesota,
27.
yeah.
And then Minnesota's 28. We're talking about Cincinnati for 29. Maybe Cincinnati's bad by then. Joe Burrow, they trade him.
It's not a very
holds
fun
out.
thing to think about. How about, well, yeah, sorry, Bengals fans, but maybe that all happens. Maybe St. Clair, Ohio boy. He's an Ohio boy.
Yes, he's an Ohio boy.
Bengals get the draft. Perfect weather. If you can gauge that sort of
window
thing
that.
this far out, maybe that could push 7 figures. It's pretty right in the Midwest, right? You can get some of the southern states.
Well, that's the thing. When you have those places in the Midwest, there's so many teams. I always joked from Columbus. I mean, you can drive to 7 or 8 different NFL teams within 5 or 6 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, it's.
And Midwesterns will drive anywhere.
They'll drive anywhere.
Drive a dozen hours down to Florida. So let's get those teams in there as well.
Minnesota already has a franchise quarterback. They've got J.J. McCarthy, just so you know. They wouldn't be looking for one.
And Kyler Murray.
Right. And also you think about things like the trades that could happen. I agree with what you're saying there. But, you know, like when Cincinnati traded for Kajana Carter, they traded like the night before the draft with Carolina.
Yeah.
And gave up the number 5 pick and some other things with it. That's when Kerry Collins went to Carolina in that one. The NFL 18-game season, highly unlikely by 2027, according to Pro Football Talk's Mike Florio. He cited a source familiar with the situation, saying it's not likely for 27-28 season, though still not impossible. And
Well, Atlanta, they still haven't given them the exact
right,
date.
that's
for
the big
Super Bowl.
thing, right?
And they're mad because they've got to book concerts and everything else. I mean,
Right.
the hotel blocks. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, and people want time. It takes a lot of time to get this stuff going.
Yeah, so they are. I heard Atlanta was ticked off about it just because of all the stuff they have to do, and you know the NFL could give them 2 dates in case something would happen. They'd have to postpone it by a week or something. It'd be obviously a big deal if that ever happened, but they're not giving them anything, and so that's the part. Yeah, that's with how much goes into all of that.
I think they would like it to happen. I just think they realize logistically it would be really hard to figure that all out. And then also they'd want to be adding these international games, so they'd have to be negotiating with those international entities, different cities and countries of where they're going to go and play. A lot of logistics that would have to fall into place really quickly.
Which happens first, 24-team playoff or 18 game schedule?
They can announce that.
Okay.
And
so NFL.
I think the NFL will announce an 18 game before they announce the 24-team playoff.
Okay.
I don't know if it's intentional or not, Bob, but it's not lost on me the fact that after you talked about donor fatigue, you used the word hard twice in this segment.
You really think you can go all day long?
Right, let's tell them what's
Always
got
left
us
me
juiced.
satisfied and smiling.
What's got you juiced?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
It's a Wednesday, Bob.
Ooh, it's rainy Wednesday. It's supposed to be sunny tomorrow, though. So that'll be the regional finals for the girls lacrosse. The boys are playing tonight, and I believe they're Arlington. They're playing St. Charles So I don't know if that's the semis or the finals for them. I think it is the finals for them as well. So tonight's going to be a rain-soaked event. I don't know that I'll make it out there for that. Hopefully tomorrow. It's supposed to be 78 and sunny. Last night was drizzly and cold, but they were able to take care of business and get a victory over Dublin Jerome. So it's good to see that for the girls. A couple more wins, hopefully, on the docket for them. I'm excited. Get some stuff done today. GSD day, and then it's rainy and whatever. So going to probably hit a nap because I'm tired. It's been a long weekend. The game yesterday was tiring, and then watching some of that Spurs OKC game. I feel better today, but I need one more day of recharge because I've got Joe Burrow's golf outing on Friday. So coming off of that game will be quite a Herculean lift for me. So excited for that. Juiced up for it. It's going to be a good time. Going to be a great weekend, and full day of school for my kids. Tomorrow is a half day, so that all has me juiced. What Shelley's got to say?
I had longer sideburns and a gut was very evident, but I also thought I looked very sexy. And God bless Steph for hanging out with me, because then that transformed into my Jets picture, which looked like a caveman with a bowling ball for a skull, 20-inch neck and long hair. And I'm not going to lie to you, I looked disgusting. Though at that time I thought I looked very good, I did not.
I mean, you've seen that Jets
self-awareness. Oh, yeah. It's probably not his best look. I think that's fair to say.
He looks better 20 years later than he did in that picture.
He does.
Remarkable.
Like fine wine.
Yeah, I don't think there's a filter you could use to make that picture look better.
No.
Just black it out.
Yes, right, yes.
Non-existent.
Yes.
I got a few things for you guys here. First up, I did see this from Florida head coach John Summerall yesterday. I thought this was pretty funny. So he, of course, was at Tulane last year and was kind of going through the coaching two jobs, frankly, as he was finishing up with the Green Wave as they were in the playoff before he full-time took the Gators job. But he had this quote yesterday at SEC spring meetings. He said, the NFL has a really cool model, and he's saying this sarcastically, where they play the season, then the season ends, coaches take jobs, then they do the roster turnover, then they have some practices, then they play the season again. The way the college football playoff does it all at the same time is like mixing tequila, bourbon, and beer all together into one. So I thought that was pretty funny there. And then also, Carp, the journey continued yesterday. 2 episodes.
Really?
2 more episodes. Yeah, you know what? I watched 1 episode, went to the gym, came back, knocked out some show sheet stuff, and it was like 7 o'clock. I'm like, yeah, we got time for one more, so we'll sneak one in.
Let me get warmed up for the Western Conference Finals.
Exactly. And so let's see here. Daenerys took fire to the Lannister army, and she showed what she can get done there.
That was rough.
Cersei's pregnant again.
Yeah.
And she has no problem letting the world know that her and her brother are going to be the parents.
Yep.
What else we got? Jon Snow and taking the gang back north of the wall again.
Oh, yeah.
I really wish the Stark children would be bonding better together.
Yeah.
You know, they came all back together and they're still all like fighting. I feel like if I hadn't seen my sister in however many years, I guess it has been in the show, 6, 7, or 8, give or take, it's I'd be happier to see her than just.
The thing is, there's going to be something you're really going to enjoy, though.
Okay,
they
good.
like a good head fake. You know, the game,
yeah.
It doesn't always tell you exactly where you're going to go. And
hit them with the
what
AI
episode? What
crossover.
episode did you just watch? You think episode 4? Maybe?
I know I have 2 episodes left in season 7.
Oh,
I'm not sure how many episodes are total in there. 8 or 9, I think. Right?
What number is? Where am I at here? Season 6, season 7. There's only 7 episodes.
Only
a
7.
Season.
Okay, so I watched through 4 and 5 last night.
So you watched each watch. Oh yeah, when they went down east. Okay, that's good.
Yeah. So.
Oh, the Dragon or the Wolf. There's some good ones. Yeah, you're gonna like this.
Oh, I don't doubt that at all. Although
you enjoying Littlefinger?
I'm kind of ready for him to. I feel like he's probably overdue. I'd say, isn't he? He's like.
I don't get to say anything.
That's a name, right?
If you were to, what's a nickname?
Peter Baelish is
Lord Baelish. Yeah,
not an act.
Listen, a lot of people would be dead if it wasn't for him in the Knights of the Vale. Yeah. I do appreciate that, but pretty much since the day that he turned on old Ned Stark, I've been kind of ready for him to. Yeah. He's kind of overdue for some bad karma. I don't know if death. I don't know if I'd go that far. He's not quite on maybe that
death
level.
Death or exile.
Yeah, I'm not gonna behead him. I'm just gonna let my dragon burn him to death. How about you? How about that, Bob? So, Tito, that all has me juiced today, sir. They say that the road ain't no place to start a family. Why is you juiced?
My Cincinnati baseball team is Reds hot. They've won 3 in a row. Jumped up to third in the
Break up the Reds.
Yes, in the NL Central. I think they're only a half game out of a wild card spot right now.
Ooh.
And the Cubs, who everyone was ready to anoint as champions after 2 10-game winning streaks before the 40th game of the season, which had never been done before, now have lost 10 straight. So they're the first team since the 2017 Dodgers to have 10-game winning streaks and a 10-game losing streak in the same season. That's really hard to pull off, especially when we're looking at where we're at in the calendar.
What Dodgers team was it?
2017.
Okay.
So
that team, they make the World Series and lose to the Astros?
I can't remember if they did that year.
Does that sound roughly right?
Yeah. No other teams had a winning streak. No other teams had a losing streak of 10. I'm sorry, let me put it this way. The other teams that had the 2 10-game winning streaks and a 10-game losing streak, or the other ones that did that, never lost more than 5 in a row after that. But anyway, so Cubs are not doing well. Reds are. I love that. And then also juice for Tortorella. I never met the guy when he was here, but just saying, I love the passion he brought as the head coach here in Columbus. And he certainly held the guys accountable and had success here. And so seeing him get a chance to go to the NHL Finals, I'm going to keep calling just Tortorella going to the NHL Finals. I'm sorry. I'm going to keep calling just Tortorella, because I'm not going to say it's the Vegas Golden Knights, Bob, because of how much different the expansion drafts were and how it bothers me to my core that the Blue Jackets did not have near the advantages that Vegas had in the expansion draft. So I'm just going to continue to say it's Tortorella versus whoever they're playing in the NHL Finals coming up.
What if it's Torts against Canada?
Oh, see,
that could be fun.
Yes, take Torts all day long on that one. Are you hoping, Bob, it's like when you talk about traveling to a game, you're talking about going to Vegas for a game or just going somewhere for?
Go to Vegas.
Okay, so I didn't know if you were hoping for like a Montreal and go to a road game up there or not.
No, okay. Vegas.
That's a good way to do it there.
How about that right in?
Anyway, thank you to Austin Ward for joining us today. Thank you to the Juicers for being here today. Tomorrow we'll have Albert Breer, and also Your Highness will return. We had some pretty good videos out there on. Yeah, it's maybe. We'll see on that. It's always
I
a
haven't talked
TBD.
to him. I don't know if he's alive.
He's alive.
Okay.
I can confirm he's alive.
That's
but
good.
We'll do all that tomorrow.